Welcome to Sapphire 1. This is an introduction on the client and vendor class within Sapphire 1. Now this can be accessed from the accounts mode. We have 8 distinctive modes within the Sapphire 1 toolbar. If we select the accounts mode, we go to receivables and we've got a class under the inquiry. So we have transactions, allocations, client class. If we double click on the class, we're presented with a set of classes that we've set up here. If we double click on that particular class, we've got a class ID, class name, a company ID. We've got a company ID that's 10 alphanumeric, so we can have as many companies as we like set up in the Sapphire 1. And we can also set a control default, tax default, a sales default, and a default price for that particular client class. We can also go and set notes, and we can see the clients that are linked to that class. If we go and select all, so we go Control A, and we can go and look at those options there. So here's all the keyboard shortcuts for the various controls. If we go Control A, we then go Modify using the toolbar. We're presented with a list, and this is standard on all inquiry screens. We're presented with a list of all our various client classes, and we can go and see which clients are linked to which classes, and you see I'm just going through those one at a time. We've also got the option to fast forward, so we can jump to the beginning or we can jump to the end, and we've also got the list here, so we can go straight to a particular one on the list. And if we then want to switch to custom inquiry, we have the same functionality that we saw within our client and vendor inquiry, where we can switch to a custom inquiry and we can go and add any field that is in the client class or vendor class. So in this case, we'll give that a particular length. We'll change that to 100, and we'll go in here and we'll do the same here. We'll make that 100. And then we'll remember to click the use and then click OK, and now we've got the notes. We've also got the ability to move that around. So as we saw in client and vendor class, we can go and move that around. If we close out of there now and we go back into a client class, we've now got the name showing up in the custom inquiry. Alternatively, we can switch back to our standard class inquiry. Now, once we've set up the classes, those classes are actually set inside the client. So if we double click on a client, here's our class here. So if we use our @ we can go and search and select that particular class. Apart from the @ we can also use a question mark. So if we want to search a client class, we can use a question mark and we can drop in there as well. So that's where we set the client class within a client inquiry. We have exactly the same within the vendor. So if we go over to the vendor inquiry now, we go down to a class. So here we've got a set of classes that we've created for the vendors. Once again, if we go and select all using our options this time, and we want to go and select all those. So we've got our advanced find, show subset, show the last set, show all, omit subset, save the subset, load the set, and we can go and select all those. So in this case, we'll go Control A on a Mac, Control A on a Windows box, or if you're on a Mac, it's Command A. We've gone and selected them all. I want to go and modify now. I'm going to just use my keyboard command, so it's Command M. Alternatively, also Control M on a Windows box, or I can go and use the keyboard, or I can use the mouse. And once again, I can option through those, and I can go through and look at all the various vendor classes, and I can fast forward, go to the last record or go to the beginning record. I can select the list and go to a particular list. We've got the ability, once we've set those classes, to once again switch to the custom inquiry, and then we can go to the setup, so we can go and set up various other. Example, we've got company ID here, we'll set, and we'll go here, we'll make that 100. We'll also make that particular field in the table, in the vendor class table, we'll make that 100. Click OK here, and then we've got the company ID now added. And then we've also got the export, so we can export that straight out to Excel, as we have in every inquiry screen. We close out of there now, and we go to a vendor inquiry. If we go in and look at a particular vendor, this is where we set the classes in the vendor. So we've got two options here. We can do an @ we can go and select the particular vendor we want, or alternatively we can use the question mark and we go tab here and we can say we'll select that particular vendor class, and it's Manchester, so it'll default that particular vendor to that vendor class. We go back into the vendor class, and there's the vendor class, and of course we can swap back to our standard view. Thank you for taking the time to watch the client class inquiry and the vendor class inquiry. Thank you.